Greetings, and thanks for taking the time to look at this podcast. I want to briefly explain to you some of the changes we are planning to make for our Year 13 students in 2010. We've known for some time that managing the transition from school to university can be difficult and it needs a transition period. We also know that students given free time don't always manage it well. But learning to manage time and learning to take responsibility for their learning is an essential part of preparing to leave school and go on to either work or university. At the same time, we know that we've got to keep the grades of our school up and the success rate of our students at least above the national average, if not much better than that. So we've had a lot of discussion about what makes learning effective and how we can engage students more. One of the great frustrations for senior students is being in a class that has a range of ability and people moving at a different pace in the same learning task. Waiting for people to complete tasks, sitting in a classroom just focusing on working quietly at a desk when you could be working in all sorts of other environments doesn't take into account the learning styles of the student, nor does it help that student to managing their time and their focus or their concentration. So for 2010, we've decided to do something quite different. We're going to, instead of having 4 periods per week for each subject at Year 13, we're going to have 3 periods per week at Year 13. But the 4th period is fully scheduled and will be part of the learning environment. By taking the teacher out of the 4th period, we make that teacher free to respond to the needs of students as and when they require tuition and private help and coaching, while the other students can maintain the work that's often done in class and doesn't require the immediate supervision of that particular subject teacher. The second thing we're going to do is set up the present senior common room with proper workspaces, and the teachers who are not scheduled for the class for that period will go to that area and be in charge of monitoring it and taking a role and seeing that people are present. But the good thing is we want to give people an incentive to move away from being supervised and basically monitored by the school. And so we'll have 3 levels of freedom, if you like, for the Year 13 students. If you're a student that can manage the use of your own time, manage to get your work done, and can use that time effectively, then you'll get a pass that's like a student ID in red. And the red passes will be able to have freedom to go anywhere they like during those 4th periods of their subjects. So effectively, that's about 5 hours in a week when they could schedule study periods, focus on a subject they want to catch up on, or be even off-site working where they need to be working to make sure they're catching up and maintaining their grades and assignments. If you get a blue pass, you'll have some areas of the college that you could go to work in, including the computer spaces, but you will have to be there and the role will be taken and you'll be checked in each time. If you get a green pass, we will have taken the view that as a student you cannot yet manage your non-contact time and freedom, and we will have you in the senior common room working on your work, and it'll be monitored and run like a classroom space. The expectation will be that you can learn to manage your time in such a way that you can gain the freedom to either have a blue or a red pass. And obviously we would like every student to have a red pass. Now, we know that moving to a time when students take responsibility for their learning is a journey. And so we do not expect to have very many red passes at the beginning of the year. But for us, success would be nearly every student with a red pass by the end of the year, and having students exceeding the expectations for excellence by knowing what they have to achieve, because they've got more access to the teachers to find out what it is that needs to change in their assignments to get the top marks, by knowing how to get access to information at any time, in any place. And that would mean having access to computers and podcasts and textbooks and resources both in the school and outside the school when those tasks are there. Now, we think this is going to give you a much greater opportunity to develop and prepare for the kinds of freedoms that will be experienced in the university, or the kind of discipline about self-management that's required when you leave school and go to work. I would be interested in hearing your comments about this idea. I know that for many, the thought of losing the complete freedom of the senior common room will be a bit of a challenge. I have to say that it's a small price to pay for making use of a very expensive space and developing it into something that will be educationally beneficial to everybody. If you want to comment to me, send me an email at pferris@kavanagh.school.nz, or make time to come and talk to me about the idea. I look forward to hearing from you. I think this is part of an exciting change that our school can really celebrate. Thank you.